Our state's motto, "To the Stars Through Difficulty," captures the central nature of Kansas character. A drive to innovate, help one another, and leave behind a stronger, freer, and more prosperous state and nation for the next generation. I witness these characteristics time and time again as I visit Kansans across our state.
We got named on the same list as companies like Charles Schwab and a few other well-known household names. I think we were included because we are coming at the problem from a totally different angle. The problem being tens of millions of middle-class Americans not having access or qualifying to get professional help for their finances. And we're using technology basically to get help to those people. But at the end of the day, we believe that people need a professional service that will manage the account for them. And that's exactly why we built Blooom. Awesome people have just materialized around Blooom. I wish I could say that we went out and sourced all these great people ourselves, but they've just kind of found their way to us. And we've got 21 awesome people, each with different backgrounds and have come to us from different means. But the one thing that's unified across all of them is they absolutely believe in what we're doing at Blooom. The Midwest is the perfect spot to build a financial services company. You've got people today that largely don't trust Wall Street after the financial crisis of 08 and 09. And I also don't think that most Americans don't want a 23-year-old computer programmer in Silicon Valley managing their retirement either. Companies in the Midwest, the founders have got almost 2 decades of experience in managing accounts for people. Midwest steeped in values and tradition, and companies that are built not for exits, but companies that are built to be around for decades. There is a concerted effort right here in the greater Kansas City area to be incredibly startup friendly.
Well, the community's always been a proponent of Fort Riley. Since 1855, when the Army came here, the community came right behind them. So they've been committed to the Army. It is the biggest economic driver in this area, obviously. We are partners. The overall goal was precipitated by a special program assessment for the Army, reducing from 550,000 to 490,000. And every installation was going to have a listening session to determine what benefits they were to their installation, their hometown. We got together, started getting all of our folks mobilized to have a huge listening session. We know that there was about 39 installations that were going to be interviewed, and we wanted to make the loud statement that Fort Riley was our partner, and Junction City is the hometown of Fort Riley. There was over 4,200 people that came to that listening session, which is 25% of the total amount of people that attended listening sessions throughout those 39 installations. So that 25% speaks very highly of our commitment to Fort Riley and the United States Army. During that time, we had brought on a new city manager. He was only here for about a month before the listening session. And when he came to Junction City and the listening session and all the work that was going on, he was overwhelmed by the amount of work that was done in the region and that was done by city staff to make this listening session come about. It was his first actual duty to take over as the listening session was going on, and it was a phenomenal job with the region and city staff to pull that off.
The Twilight Theatre was originally constructed in late 1916 and early 17. It basically functioned as a movie theater until the night of the tornado. In 2006 and 2007, the community and the board of directors was raising funds to renovate the theater. That process was going to begin in May of 2007 when May 4th happened. The tornado leveled the theater and that obviously put off the renovation project, and it took about 7 to 8 years for them to raise enough money and begin constructing a new theater, but with a new vision. That it would not only serve as a movie theater, but also a live performance space and as the school's auditorium. There is not just one person who can take credit for this. Not only was there over $3.6 million invested in the construction of the building, there were countless man-hours, volunteers. There are a lot of people in the community that decided if we're going to stay, we're going to make it worth staying. They sacrificed some of the finer things in life so that others can enjoy something. Opening night was incredible, and it is a night to remember forever, and people will talk about it for a long time. But what I've been really impressed with is that businesses and individuals continue to sponsor films and sponsor programming and help underwrite the cost of bringing in events and concerts and guest speakers. They come to the Twilight and say, how can we help? And that has been very encouraging. If the people who believed in the Twilight vision weren't pioneers, then I don't know who is.
Pioneers like the entrepreneurs at Blooom, those who came together for Fort Riley, and the determined residents of Greensburg are those who make our state such a special place to call home. Because of those folks and Kansans like them, bright days lie ahead. May God continue to bless the great state of Kansas.